Hello guys, it's your boy Ben Gregson here, and one of the questions that's been asked to me through Facebook is for me to do a in-depth profile on a Satteler Knight deck that I would run at an event or just for the meta in general. Obviously the Road to Rank deck won't be used for meta play for some while, but I do have one saved anyway. So the thing about Satteler Knights in the current meta is they don't have the whole pendulum resummoning for them. Like, pendulums are this deck's weakness, really. But we're going to go over the deck anyway. It also has a bad matchup against Cosmo, for the reason that Cosmo players are now running artifacts and Scythe is a bitch, and you'll see that in the side deck. There's a lot of hate for the Pepe matchup, and the Cosmo matchup in there. There's a little bit of hate for the Monarch matchup, because the Monarchs are now TCG. But anyway, I'm going to go over the deck. So, to start off, we'll actually go through the Satteler Knights first. So we're running triple Deneb. Deneb searches out any Satteler Knight you want, and you need at that current moment in time. To partner with Deneb, we also have Altair. We're running 3 Altair, it's kind of standard. It is the standard way to run Satteler Knights, is 3-3-2-3. Vega and Unu switch up during formats for me personally, and I'll go over why in a sec. So Altair and Deneb, obviously, choo-choo train, blah blah blah. I'm running 2 Una and 3 Vega. The reason I'm running 3 Vega is because Trevor is extremely powerful as format. I find that Trevor is still an amazing card, and I think Trevor can be abused in the Cosmo matchup. And that's kind of what you need Trevor for, to be honest. Trevor helps you in the Cosmo matchup so much. And then for the Pepe matchup, I'm actually main decking, well, I'll go over the rest of the cards. So I'm running 2 Honest. Honest has always been good. And also it helps when Cyber Dragon Infinity attacks one of your monsters, and you can kind of be like, no. Because Cyber Dragon Infinity cannot negate during the damage step. I'm also running 1 Maxi because I had extra room. And Special Summon Hate's always good. It's good against Pepe matchup, and if you randomly bump into Burning Abyss, always helps. Thunder King Ryo is kind of a hit or miss card for me personally, but I'm running it at the moment because of the new Monarch support. Monarch players love to search cards, Pepe players love to search cards. Thunder King stops your opponent from searching off a Farm Girl, so that's a really good point with Thunder King. And then moving on to the spells, we've got a very limited spell lineup. We're just running 1 Raigeki, because it's Raigeki, 1 Reinforcements of the Army. Now that it's at 1, you can only run 1. If it was at 3, I probably wouldn't run 3 regardless, because of Anti-Spell Fragrance being the main deck. I'm running 1 Skybridge. I might bump this up to 2 and I might get rid of Maxi and bump this up to 2 because it's kind of necessary with the small amount of Satteler Knights we're running, because we're currently only running 11. There's only 15 monsters in the deck, so we're running double Twin Twister. Twin Twister is a great card versus Pendulum decks. Don't really have to say much. A lot of people making the argument that in non-Pendulum decks, Mystical Space Typhoon's better, because you can stop your opponent going plus with Wavering Eyes. But look at it this way, right? When you're playing Twin Twisters, you can pitch Deneb from your hand, or Vega, turn 1, and get your Altair train going really quickly. So, Mystical Space Typhoon's a great option. I just personally prefer Twin Twisters at the moment. This may change over time. And then onto the traps, we are running 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance, mainly to hate on Pepe and also Monarchs. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, because it's Bottomless Trap Hole. 3 Call of the Haunted, because it's abusable with Trevor, and also it makes your Altair Vega plays during the end phase really good. I couple that with 2 Oasis for the same reason. We're running 2 Fiendish Chain. I was originally going to be running Breakthrough Skill or Effect Veiler, but I'm still kind of sat there thinking it's abusable with Trevor, and Trevor's the main boss monster you really go into with this deck, so Fiendish Chain's there. We're running 2 Solemn Strike. Effect Negation is amazing in this deck. And plus with 3 Alpha Nova, plus Solemn Warning, unless your opponent's running Wiretap. I don't see your opponent really negating your shit. 2 Storm and Mirror Force for the Cosmo matchup, and then 1 Vanity's Emptiness, because Vanity's Emptiness never became bad. In the side deck we are running 2 Flying Sea for the Pepe / Burning Abyss matchup. I personally don't side it in much against Pepe. I prefer to side in Stygian Dirge, just because Stygian Dirge stops your opponent from synchro summoning. But in the Burning Abyss matchup, I do like to side it in because Burning Abyss versus Flying Sea, you're pretty much guaranteed to win that matchup 80% of the time. Running 2 Fog King. This is new to the side deck because of bloody Monarchs. I might swap this out for Mask of Restrict, but it's more trap cards that I got to add in, so kind of just trying to find the balance between traps and monsters, because I'm currently running 20 traps in this deck. 2 Maxi's here for Burning Abyss, Pepe, and there's one other deck. Random zombie decks if you run into them, like Maxi's always been good and it won't stop being good. 3 Breakthrough Skill. Breakthrough Skill is here for Cosmo. Now, some people will be like, you can't target Cosmo stuff. It's not Cosmo specifically. It's that silly Cosmo artifact deck that's been wrecking my Satteler Knight deck. Like, I've been playing on my main profile with Satteler Knights, if you guys have seen me, and I've lost 2 out of 3 games against the Cosmo deck that runs artifacts, because they just summon Scythe on my ass and I can't play. 3 Imperial Iron Wool, once again for the Cosmo matchup. Pretty much GG against Cosmos once you flip over Imperial Iron Wool. Plus I can't run Light into Prisoning Mirror. And then 3 Stygian Dirge for the Satteler Knight Mirror. For... trying to think of the deck. Give me a sec. Burning Abyss, Pepe. Anything that really wants to rank 4 or rank 3 consistently, and also Synchro 8. I mean, it's good against Yang Zings to an extent. Yang Zings have a lot of level modulation, but you can stop them from making the backseal loop a thing. And then for the extra deck, we are running 1 Abyss Dweller. You saw Abyss Dweller coming clutch in the Red to Rank episode that I uploaded earlier because it stopped the Gradles. Castell, because Castell's never stopped being good. I took the second Castell out for a Cowboy. 1 Castell Pleiades. Pleiades is always going to be a good card no matter what. Cyber Dragon Infinity and Nova, because Cyber Dragon Infinity is the nuts. And I don't really summon Cyber Dragon Infinity that often, but when I was playing against Exodia earlier, it was really good because it stopped my opponent's key cards from going off. 1 Diamond Direwolf. Diamond Direwolves, if it's me, and I have the ability to play Diamond Direwolf in a deck, I will probably play Diamond Direwolf. It's just one of my personal favourite XYZs, and despite Satteler Knight's not really needing Diamond Direwolf, it's just there. Geiger Cowboy, because this deck leaves your opponent on 600 or 800 life points quite a lot. 1 Diamond, because you might randomly bump into Shadows that's good against Burning Abyss. And if not, it's just an overlay material for Ptolemaeus. 2 Deltaros. I'm thinking of cutting Deltaros down to 1, but for now I like it at 2. I was running it for the Star Seraphs, but obviously I'm not running the Star Seraphs in this build. It's much more anti-meta. I am running, pardon me, Triple Trevor, or Trivor. Trivor is an amazing card in this deck because it allows for you to abuse your continuous trap cards so much, and it makes me so happy to be able to just go, oh, I have a Fiendish Chain and a Oasis that I've still got sat on board face up that I can't use. Oh, I'll just summon Trevor, add them back to my hand, and stop you from making plays next turn. And I can also make a second Trevor next turn if I really want to, and get rid of the first one. So have fun with that. And then we're running double Ptolemaeus because Ptolemaeus is a great card. I'm not going to use its first effect. Wait, it's his second effect, isn't it? Detach 7 XYZ materials from this card. Skip your opponent's next turn. You can, during each end phase, you can blah blah. But yeah, guys, this deck seems to fare well in the current meta. After I've kind of established the Cosmo threat, the Cosmo threat is definitely alive. But if I just show you a card that I may be siding, it's called Mask of Restrict. It basically just stops cards from being tributed. It does what Fog King does, except it's a trap card. But my deck's already really susceptible to MST and Twin Twister anyway, so... And one thing to note is Pepe aren't really running any back row destruction, and that's why I think this deck does so well against the current meta beating Pepe. Like, Pepe really just lose. I am thinking of running an extra Twin Twister in the side deck somewhere. I might get rid of a Max C for it, just because Dominion when you play against Monarchs and they activate Dominion, and you haven't got either Twin Twister or you aren't able to Alpha Nova it in that turn, you pretty much lose because you can't go into your extra deck. I mean, you have Honest, which is an out, you have Regeki, which is an out, I guess, because you can get rid of the monsters on board. But they have, is it March of the Monarchs? Yeah, March of the Monarchs. So they can't be destroyed by card effects, so you can't Regeki them. They can, does Honest target? Sorry, I've completely blanked since code me. No, Honest does not target, so they're still susceptible to Honest. So you don't completely lose to Monarchs, but Monarchs is definitely a difficult matchup. Game 1. Game 2, you pretty much, you can kind of play around them. So recommendations for siding in. Not many people do this, but I like to do this. I'm going to try and do this in my videos when I make deck profiles. So personally in the Cosmo matchup, I'll side out 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance for 3 Breakthrough Skill. I will side out the Thunder King, the Max C, and a Twin Twister, or I might keep in my Max C or keep in my Thunder King and side out both Twin Twisters, because obviously the artifacts are there, and then I'll side in the 3 Imperial Iron Wall. For Pepe, I like to side in 2 Max C and 3 Stygian Dirge in exchange for the 2 Stormy Mirror Forces, the Oasises, and the Fiendish Chains. The Fiendish Chains aren't completely necessary. They stop Ignista, but you have Solar Notices and the Alpha Nova to stop Ignista blowing you up. Monarchs, I side in 3 Breakthrough Skill and 2 Fog King in exchange for 2 Stormy Mirror Force, the Raigeki, the Max C, and an Oasis. Oasis is a susceptible card to side deck out. When I was running Upstart Goblin, I'd obviously side out Upstart Goblin because you usually take it out game 2 and 3 anyway, because speed isn't completely necessary. Speed isn't necessary in Satteler Knights anyway, it's more about playing the grind game. And yeah guys, that's going to be it for this deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did enjoy. Your support means everything to me. And I'll see you in a bizzle. Goodbye.